All right, let's roll.
All right, everyone. Well, welcome and thanks again for joining us for another incredible Legends International Team Global Call. We are so excited. We have a special guest. The story is going to be moving. You'll definitely want to take some notes and you'll definitely learn a ton and have some fun. That is what it's all about. Jason's got some great stuff to share with you as well. And so without any further ado, I want to introduce my good friend, our president and CEO of the Legends International Team, Mr. Jason P. Jordan.
Thanks a lot, Marty. Super excited to again be here this week for another global team call, 21st of May. We're operating in, of course, 13 of the 24 country footprint of EXP Global. This is our agenda for today. And in just a moment, I'm going to give the proper introduction for our guest speaker, Mr. Brian Moses. He's going to talk about how he got into real estate, how he joined, why he joined EXP Realty, and what he thinks the future of EXP Realty looks like. Then I'm going to, in the middle segment, talk about some events, company news, our lit AI and video mastermind we've been doing in India. Going to get some updates as well on that. Then we're going to bring Brian back for our last segment of today's call, and he's going to talk about how he built a revenue share group of 370 plus agents and questions and answers at the end. Brian is filled with all kinds of great information. So if we have any extra time, I'm sure he can fill that up. Absolutely have enjoyed learning more about him and some of his training too. So with that said, let me just pin him up here. So let me introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Brian Moses from Hollis, New Hampshire, United States. Brian Moses has sold more than 3,500 homes in his career. He's been ranked in the top 10 for a major real estate franchise from more than 140,000 agents, 7 consecutive years, and twice ranking number 2 in the world. During his illustrious career, Brian sold more than 400 homes annually, producing sales value in excess of 100 million and making over 3 million per year in commission income. In his best month, Brian recorded more than 60 sales in a month and generated over 400,000 in commissions income. Yes, you've read that correctly, in a single month. Today, Brian is a sought-after speaker, moderator, panelist, and industry expert throughout the US, Canada, and Europe, delivering his message and distinctions with agents, industry professionals to help accelerate their income and productivity. And you can see from his experience, he's been with eXp Realty, Coldwell Banker, Remax. He's been a executive vice president, senior vice president, not only working with Tony Robbins, but with Jay Kinder and Michael Reese over at the National Association of Expert Advisors. The guy is just a complete rock star. So with that said, Brian, welcome to the call.
Thanks, Jason. It's great to be here with you and Marty. Thank you so much.
Well, just super excited to have you on. After I saw your video at, it was Cabo 24, right? And I was just so moved by your story. Right. And I was listening to you and how you, went to the university, did the track that everybody tells you to do, at least when I was growing up as a Gen Xer, right? Go to school, get good grades, go to college, and then come out and get a good paying job. Right. And that's kind of where you were at. But then you told your parents no. So kind of take us from that point, where you were at coming out of school, and it's been a few years now, right? But how did you decide you wanted to move into the real estate career, and how did that get going for you?
Well, it's a great question. So I thought real estate agents made a lot of money. I didn't do any research. My perceptions, my beliefs were they drove nice cars, they wore 3-piece suits, nice shoes, good jewelry. And I thought, wow, that would be a life that I would like to live. So I saw a career night at Century 21, went. The sales manager confirmed that the sky's the limit. And I said, okay, let's go. In my first year, I made a whopping $18,000 living at home at my parents' home. And my parents are asking me, how's this going for you? Do you have any regrets that you didn't take that 6-figure salaried position with full medical benefits? And travel stipends. And I'm like, no, I'm, it takes time. They told me it takes time. Year 2, I made 40,000. Year 3, struggled. Now this is gross commission income. You know that we have expenses, right?
Exactly, right?
So we had company expenses. So, I was making 18,000, that was gross, then 40,000 gross. And it really was gross because I couldn't pay my bills. In 5 years of making gross wages, gross income, I struggled. And I was about to pull the ripcord, to be honest with you, and just get out of this business. And, I ran into some people that changed the trajectory of my life. 3 big ones were Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, and no relation to Bob, but Craig Proctor. He was the #1 Remax agent in the world at the time at 29 years old. And he was killing it. And he was living the life that I wanted to live. And I asked Craig at a Mike Ferry event, hey, what would you tell a young guy 5 years into the business who wants to get your results? He said, it's really simple. Just do what I do. And he walked away. And I'm like, jerk. But there's really some truth to be said to that.
Right.
And he then spoke at an event in New England, in Connecticut, and he talked about direct response marketing. And I'm like, man, this makes sense. This is a whole lot more fun than cold calling and door knocking and working my sphere of influence and begging people for leads and opportunities and spending a fortune on promotion and branding that doesn't really work. So I started to do what Craig Proctor did, and I got what Craig Proctor got. Instant leads, instant appointments, instant sales, and went from 40 transactions a year to 108 that very next year. And I never looked back. And then I took that and just reinvested what I learned from my business degree at Northeastern, reinvest some profits for compounded profits, and then did it over and over and over again. And
Exactly.
had a pretty good, successful real estate career.
Yeah, well, your numbers actually prove it as well, right? So it's not just talking the talk, you've walked the walk,
Yeah.
So, having a successful career in real estate, then you got into the coaching business, right? And you were growing that, and you still have a nice coaching business today. What made you decide to come to eXp Realty? Because, I know a lot of coaches who have successful businesses that have said to me, or I've heard say that they were afraid to come to eXp Realty, that maybe it would cannibalize their business, their coaching business. So what made you decide to make the move?
Well, I had that fear as well. In fact, I didn't even, the biggest mistake. So I didn't have a real estate license. When I sold my business in 2009 to go into coaching and training full time, that was my next plateau. That was my next identity. I wanted to share my experiences with other agents who were in my shoes early on and show them that there is an easier way. There is a faster way. It doesn't take years to build your business. You can do it instantly. You can generate a listing in the next 48 hours. It's not difficult. You just need to have a different approach and a different mindset. And sometimes when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So people told me about this great company, and I'm like, hey guys, I'm doing really well in coaching. I'm all set. Appreciate you reaching out to me. And I thought I was misinformed, misguided, naive to think that it was just another real estate company, because I've been with Century 21, I've been with Coldwell Banker, I've been with Remax, I'm familiar with Keller Williams, Berkshire Hathaway, I know them all. So I'm not, talk to me about joining EXP? No thanks. And I couldn't even, nobody could get past the no thanks. So a friend of mine who I coached for many, many years, Dennis D'Souza, I coached him for years and he became the #1 RE/MAX agent in all of California. And he said, Brian, you've coached me. I'm grateful for you. I'm going to say this directly. Shut up. And I said, excuse me, who are you telling me to shut up? Like, shut up? That's kind of harsh. He goes, you're saying no to something. You don't know what you're saying no to. He goes, this is a very different business model. It's very disruptive. The world is changing. Look at it. Give me your input. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's for people that you coach. Educate yourself. So I said, okay, fair enough. So I looked at it and I'm like, wow, this sounds pretty sexy. This sounds, equity, revenue share, other sources of income that I would never had, which would have been nice for a 30-year real estate career. Could you even imagine it?
I can't even imagine how many agents you've trained on the job at Coldwell Banker and RE/MAX.
Recruited, so I decided to go back and I had to go get my real estate license again. So that was a pain in the, you know what? And for the first 2 years, I was secret EXP agent. And I was fearful that, my bread and butter, all these great agents and companies that I coach and work with, RE/MAX, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Berkshire Hathaway, Keller Williams. I was fearful that if they knew that I was at EXP because of the agent attraction component, that it would cannibalize my coaching business. And what I learned is people trust me, they like me, they know I'm not going to do anything inappropriate or malicious. And I do what I'm paid to do and help agents get great results. And at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is, this company is not for everybody. So it's not, hey, just come on over. Like, this company is the right fit for some people and not the right fit for other people. So I started doing a little bit more year 2 in terms of growing my organization. I brought on a few people who brought on a few people. I became really close with these friends because not only were we coaching together, we're now in business together.
Right.
And, we're mutually, we mutually benefit by helping each other in a way that was undescribable before, or unfathomable. So it's been really, really great. So these agents brought in agents who brought in agents who brought in agents. And I'm up now to about, in 2 years' time, about 400, because I didn't do much the first 2 years, but 400 agents in my rev share group. Now, when people hear this, they go, 400 agents. Wow, you must be working full time to recruit and attract. No, I'm on coaching calls all day long. I booked 17 speaking engagements in the last 30, 45 days around this NAR buyer agency proposed settlement on buyer agency. So my coaching business is my livelihood. It's my passion. It's what I love to do. I've only brought in 25 people over the last few years. And those 25 people have turned into 400. And that's where the leverage is. Now, a lot of people, say, well, I don't have any interest in recruiting. Great, no problem. I do. Maybe you do. Maybe some of the people who are here do. And maybe before you say you don't have any interest in it, maybe we should get more curious and go, what's the upside of maybe participating in this additional source of opportunity, even on a small scale?
Right.
And it's significant. So it's been a a pleasure to be here. I'm very, very excited. I've got to meet people that I've never met before. I'm meeting you guys for the first time. And it's a place where strangers become friends and friends become family.
Yeah.
And it's pretty freaking wild. It's pretty outrageous. It's pretty incredible. I got to meet Glenn Sanford. And Glenn, I don't know how many billionaires you have in your phone directory, but
Right.
Glenn Sanford will give you his cell phone number. When I was at Remax, no disrespect to Dave Liniger, brilliant guy. I've spoken on stages with him. I've spoken on stages with Gary Keller. You can't talk to these people. They're above you. They're the founder and CEO of an international franchise, and they can't be bothered with you. I was the #2 agent in the world for Coldwell Banker, and you can't meet the owner because the owner is a private equity firm. The owner of Coldwell Banker is a company. And I got to meet the CEO of Coldwell Banker, Alex Perillo at the time, great guy. I didn't have his phone number. I couldn't call him and bounce an idea off him. So it's been a really great ride for me. And I'll tell people this: the grass is greener where you water it, right? So if you're not happy where you're currently at and you're thinking EXP is going to make you happy, probably not. Probably not a fit for you.
I like that you do the takeaway there. And I always remind people that, our model is really built for entrepreneurs, right? So if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, then you will have a solution focused mindset, right? Instead of constantly looking at challenges or problems, right? And any company that is growing as much as we have and innovating, there's constantly going to be things that we need to create solutions for, right? And so now kind of, if you can taking a look back and now kind of look forward, what do you think the future is of eXp Realty? Is it already too late in the US? These are some of the things I hear people saying. And now we just recently launched Revenue Share 2.0. I'm really excited about that. Kind of would like to get your input on that, Brian.
Yeah, that's very exciting. There's a lot we could talk about there, but a lot of great added incentives and benefits for agents here at eXp with Revenue Share 2.0. Our founders and our executive team and our leaders at this company, they're very innovative. They really are focused on the agents. They understand that it's, the boots on the ground that takes care of the buyers and the sellers. Coldwell Banker didn't take care of my buyers and sellers. I took care of my buyers and sellers. Remax didn't take care of my buyers and sellers. I took care of my buyers and sellers, and built a local brand, boots on the ground in my community. But the brand, eXp, really does do a lot of great things for the agents. And Glenn Sanford, having been a Keller Williams agent himself, he understands the pain points of an agent, the struggles, the pitfalls, the trials and tribulations. And he understands that the more value you give your agents, the faster you're going to grow, the more you're going to retain, the faster you'll expand and scale. So Rev 2.0, we could talk a lot about that, but your first question, the future of eXp. I'd be a bajillionaire if I could predict the future.
Okay.
So I'm excited about the future. Here's what I know and I believe to be true. I'm responsible for my success. You're responsible for your success. eXp is an incredible vehicle with a jet engine. And man, I'm excited that I've got this jet engine and all these great tools in my cockpit that can make me more money and provide more stability and more wealth and more freedom for me and my family. I'm very excited about it. Where it will go, I have no idea. I think it's going to be pretty high though. And I'm betting on it, and I'll just tell you this, and I probably shouldn't say this. I don't know if, I'm not I'm not on the executive team, so I'll just give you your caveat. You should all do your own due diligence. But this company has zero debt. Berkshire Hathaway has debt. Remax has debt. Coldwell Banker has debt. Keller Williams has debt. We have no debt, zero debt. I mean, growing my business, I had debt. How exciting is it to be part of a company with no debt? I'm pretty excited about that. You know, we're responsible for our own success, but what I was going to say is I had a lot of assets and I liquidated those assets because I'm getting older. My priorities have changed in life. I'm tired of dealing with tenants and property management issues. And although I've had great wealth and experience owning real estate, the only real estate I own now is my home. I've had second homes, I've had VRBOs, I've had apartment buildings, I've had commercial properties. I'm excited to have none of that right now. All my marbles. So what do I think of the future? All my chips are financially are in with this company, and that might be not the wisest move for some people, but that's what I believe about the future.
And my last quick question here, before we finish out our interview with you today, Brian, is if you could give one piece of advice to somebody who's looking at either here live today or watching the recording in the future, and they're thinking about maybe getting started at EXP, whether they're an experienced agent or a new agent, what would that one piece of advice be?
Yeah, probably the same advice I would give somebody who's looking to hire an assistant or build a team. Hire slow, fire fast, right? So look into this company. Don't think, look into this company with no pressure and no obligation. I think that that's probably the biggest mistake that we at EXP make. We get so excited about it. That excitement it's conveyed in terms of pressure and you got to be here. I would say you don't have to be here. And then when you know you don't have to do anything, you can look freely and openly. But when you're thinking about, oh, on the other side, I'm going to have to make a decision, make the decision right now. You're not coming. Make the decision. I'm not coming, but I'm going to put on my R&D hat. I'm going to learn more about this company and see where that takes you. And maybe that'll take you here. Maybe it won't. But make the decision right now. You're not coming, and just look at it. Look at, the financials, talk with other people that are here, and get clear on what your goals are, and then see if, any bus will get you there, Jason, if you don't know where you're going. So know where you want to go. I know where I want to go. I knew 30 years ago, I would be in a position where I never had to work unless I wanted to. Now, that just didn't become a reality because the more money I made over the years, the more money I spent, the bigger the homes I bought, the better the vacations, the better I traveled, and I need to make money. But I know with absolute certainty, there will come a day in the very near future where I won't have to work. I don't have to, but I'll do what I want to do, and that's very liberating. So know where you want to go, know what you want your goals to be, and then size it up and see what company, what business model, what industry. Maybe it's not even real estate. Maybe it's something else. See what it is that you want to do that aligns best with your goals, hopes, dreams, and visions.
Wow, I think that's the perfect way to end the interview today, Brian. I mean, I look at what you just delivered here in the last, 25 minutes or so, and it's amazing. And the rest of the content that you have and you put out there on the internet is fantastic, Brian. I just want to thank you for taking the time, come do this interview with our team here. And the third segment today, we're going to break down, of course, how he's gone about building his rev share group. But I want to thank you for taking your time and doing this interview with us today. My pleasure. Thanks for having me, gang. It's so great to see you. All right, so let's jump back in over to our slides here. And we're going to bump forward. So The expansion podcast just recently dropped with Glenn's interview of Amir Kakovic, an icon agent out of Sacramento, California. Consistency and discipline is what this one is all about. So again, every week you should be, taking in some great nuggets from some of the best in the business. And Glenn does a great job of interviewing them and pulling out some great nuggets for you to learn from as well. Of course, our Chief Growth Officer, Michael Valdez, had a recent interview on his podcast, Austin Chevron from Miami, Florida. And you can click on the link in the slides in our private Facebook group. Or also, I'll have Marty or somebody from our leadership team drop the link to the slides in the chat here today as well. And also wanted to let you know, hey, just recently, after closing on $270 million in business, Arizona's Tyler Blair brings 85 agent legacy real estate powerhouse eXp Realty. With 619 closings valued at $274 million, right? They decided to move over and partner with Jaron Rogers and group. But for all the same reasons, the legacy real estate team is an industry leader. Tyler knew he had to keep the wheels of progress turning. So after 18 months of serious investigation, remember what Brian just said, right? Do your due diligence. He turned eXp Realty. On April 15th, the Chandler-based powerhouse made their move official. Ultimately, it came down to the fact we wanted to be the best in order to do what we need to surround ourselves with the best of the best. The people in eXp have done what we want to do. He goes on to say eXp is a win-win for everyone in our organization. The people in eXp community have been beyond welcoming and giving. We're excited to continue building our legacy here at eXp Realty. So just like Brian said, this person their team took their time doing their due diligence, right? And I think that is great advice. Our next announcement I want to share with you is there is a new Spotify playlist that have been created. Are you looking for some music for your open houses? Or maybe just to chill as you're driving to your next appointment? Check this out on Workplace. There's some great playlists that have been loaded up for you. Also, just recently launched was a survey that Zoocasa, our sister company, did in conjunction with eXp Realty. And it shows that Americans and Canadians feeling positive about home ownership. You can click on the link here to learn more about the survey or search this out in Workplace as well. This last week, they did a repeat of the NAR settlement. Brian was just talking about that. And Leo Pareja, our new CEO, and our Holly Mayberry, our Vice President of Brokerage Operations, and Kendall Bonner, who's our new Vice President of Industry Relations, had a chance to listen to her at EXPCon this year in Vegas. They broke this all down. And there's some great highlights here. I put this all together on this one slide. You can click on the link, watch the recording, or review the slides that they covered. What I want you to know is that this leadership team already is in front of this, and the company is creating things, already created and creating more to constantly better prepare you for the marketplace and the NAR settlement and the changes that will be coming. I did want to make this announcement today so that everyone knows it, and that is Workplace is being shut down, right? And it's not being shut down because eXp Realty is no longer wanting to use it. It's because Facebook's parent company, Meta, has decided that they want to move on and pursue other avenues for revenue growth. So starting in September 1, Workplace will only be accessible to read and download existing data. So nothing's going to change from now until August of 2025. Okay, so we have a year, right? And these are all the frequently asked questions that go along with this. So you can click on the slide, you can look this up in Workplace, but I wanted to bring this up today and just share with you, hey, this is what's happening. We have a year to move on and move forward, but it is what it is, right? So there you go. If you're looking for support beyond your local support team, maybe you're needing some additional support, or you felt like maybe something fell through the cracks, global support at exprealty.net is great for all of our agents outside of the United States. And I have this also set up for you here. So depending upon what country you're in, you can get a more specific email address to put onto your issue or challenge that you're dealing with, and so you can find a solution. And you can copy that global support at exprealty.net as well. But when you download this inside our private Facebook group or click on the link here today, you'll be able to click on every one of these places and it will pull up the data for you. In the US, you can scan the code. It will download the expert care right into your phone. So you can even call them directly if you want for the US and Canadian agents. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I just saw this today and thought I would drop this in here for those of you who have agents wanting to learn more about EXP, exp.world. There is a Spanish tour every single Wednesday. So if you have a guest that speaks Spanish and you would like them to learn more about EXP Realty while speaking Spanish, they can attend one of these events where they can go into exp.world and learn all about the model along with some of our Spanish-speaking guests. On the 29th of May, if you're wanting to really learn more about what's going on globally with EXP Realty, the International Monthly Update is a great place to go, also in our exp.world platform. That's May 29th. Of course, super excited to be one of our guest panel speakers at EXPCon International. Eduardo Hernandez is also going to be joining me. We'll talk about that in a moment. We'll be heading on over to Lisbon here for June 4th through the 6th. You can see lots of great panels, talks, fireside chats, but the networking, I think, is going to be second to none. I know Dave Waters is also going to be coming along with us. Here you can see our good friend Armando Sacco will be talking about lead generation on the lead generation panel. Our friend Shashank Chauhan and Cliff Freeman will be on the top team leaders panel. And just announced here in the last couple of days, our new Chief Marketing Officer will be moderating Unlocking the Future, AI Innovations Revolutionizing the Real Estate Industry. On June 6th, there's some more great panels and talks going on. Our good friend Audrey Mevalek will be on the Luxury Unveiled, along with our friend Luisa Buzin from Portugal will be there as well. And of course, super humbled and excited with Eduardo to be talking about securing strategies for securing new real estate developments and sharing our tech stack that we've used to wow some CEOs. So we're going to be talking about that and more live there in Lisbon. And for those of you who are gearing up for Miami, I'm looking forward to maybe seeing Brian there as well. Florida, October 27th through the 30th. We got our own tour guide, Amy B, going to be in house as somebody who used to live in Miami for many years. We've got all kinds of great hotels set up for whatever your budget range is, but you want to make sure that you get registered as soon as possible. I know that we sold out many of our tickets for the EXPCon Canada, and Michael Valdez said here about a month or two ago that they sold out more VIP tickets or more tickets than any time ever at that particular timeline for EXPCon. So I'm assuming that this is going to be the biggest and greatest one of all. So you don't want to miss out. So you can register as little as $250 today to kind of lock in your ticket and then pay as you go. So if you are wanting to share more to folks about what is the Legends International team, and if they partner with us at eXp Realty, what are they able to get? Well, of course, personal one-on-one coaching like we've been doing, social branding and lead generation training, weekly global calls, technology and system setups, private networking groups, and marketing amazing portfolios to the world. Also make sure that you grab lit merch so that you let people know that you're not just an eXp Realty agent, but you're a lit agent, because you're lit for life. So you can take advantage and go to our lit agent store at Etsy. We are shipping worldwide. So this will deliver to India, to Mexico, wherever you are in the world. So I wanted to get to this part in our call today and talk about our week 4 of our Lit India AI and Video Mastermind. And this last week, we talked about using AI for Instagram videos. We generated a series of 5 Instagram Reel ideas, scripts. We created a 12-month content calendar, and we did it all within one call, right? So it was really, really cool. And I want to see if anyone here who was on the call is here. Derek. Let's see if Derek is available to just come on and say something. Derek, did you, what was your biggest takeaway from last week? maybe he's not available. Well, I will say this. So I was working with Eduardo last night as we're prepping to do a lot of marketing campaigns for our project in Puerto Vallarta. And so I was taking him through some of the same steps that the mastermind group has been going through. So I'm just going to ask Eduardo to come on. And Eduardo, so what did you think about the stuff we went over yesterday?
Hi everyone. Hi Brian. Well, I told you yesterday, I was really impressed by the fact that we are able to create publicity, we're able to create documents, and we were able to create many things with the chat GPT. It's a tool that gives us as an agent, I mean, you know, you just type in the computer and in no time you get ideas for, we created yesterday basically a buyer's guide for buying property in Mexico. And I thought, it's just really amazing. I was really impressed. I have never seen something like this before. And it's something that we have to learn to use so we become more effective at what we do. That's my takeaway.
You know, Eduardo, as somebody who is a lawyer and specialized in real estate and immigration as well, I was looking forward to creating that buyer's guide. We literally created a 5+ bonus chapter and just one call together, right? Working with ChatGPT. And I was like, okay, so Eduardo, you're going to need to take this and now just go take your legal eyes and go through it, right? But he's like, wow, man, you just saved me hours and hours and probably days, right? Because we got 90% of it done in just that one call. And then I showed him like the campaigns that we built for the development in Rio de Janeiro, right? Where I showed him a whole marketing document of, okay, here's the follow-up scripts, here's the email campaigns, here's all of that. And he was just blown away. So I'm super excited as we kind of roll this out to more countries and get more people using this and taking action to generate more business, which is the end goal, right? So let's keep moving forward. So Global Marketing Agent is a video I have going to be dropping here just in the next couple of days on my YouTube channel. If you haven't had a chance, go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. That will help the channel grow. And of course, you know, we are interviewing people just like Brian on our global calls, and then they end up getting edited and they come out as our lit real estate show. And here you see the interview we did earlier this year with Kishan Milani, who's the chair of NAR India. And he talks that eXp Realty is the future of the brokerage business in India. That will be dropping here this week as well. And my first eXp Realty video breaking down the model is going to be coming out, the top 10 secret benefits no one is sharing. So if you haven't had a chance, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. I really appreciate it. And it's going to take us to our last segment of today's call. We're going to bring Brian back on here. We're going to talk about Lit Makes Deals with Brian. And he's going to talk to us how he strategically went about growing his organization at eXp Realty. Brian, welcome back.
Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
You know, so as I was looking at this number, and you said here on our first segment that number is higher than 370 now. So congratulations on that. And even more impressive, you said that you're not like actively day-to-day, you know, recruiting or attracting agents. So that number keeps growing is obviously a good reflection on your leadership and you empowering others and creating systems to create duplication.
Yeah, it's you know, my primary belief in life is that you win in life by helping other people win. And I've been very, very blessed in my life and very rewarded, and I'm very grateful for so much. You know, not to say that I don't have challenges or obstacles in my life, because we all do, but I'm very, very fortunate. And I think I've cracked the code on doing this. There's a right way to do this and a wrong way to do this. And I'm excited to be your guest today to share with you my values and my beliefs and my principles. They've served me well, and success does leave clues. There are shortcuts to success, and you want to model people that are emulating your values and are where you want to be in life. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have about growing organizations.
So when you came to EXP Realty, you said that you didn't really get after building your organization. What was it that kind of just flipped that switch for you that made you realize, okay, this is going to be, it's not really about me, it's about the people I can help through the model.
Well, as I shared with you, I've owned a good amount of real estate in my life, and you put 20% down on a commercial property or more, and you carry a heavy mortgage and pay your principal, interest, tax, insurance, vacancies have to be accounted for, repairs, depreciation. And at the end of the year, maybe I'm making 5,000 a property, 10,000 a property. In a really, really hit it out of the park investment, maybe I'm making $25,000 on a property a year. And I learned that, you bring on one capping agent to EXP, which is a good agent, somebody who does 80,000 in GCI, they cap, it's an 80-20 split, and you make $2,800 on that agent every year. So if you can bring on 5 of those agents, that's more than I'd make owning a good investment property.
Right.
With nobody calling me in the middle of the night that the pipes have burst in our freezing New England winters. So I started with that. I'm just going to bring 5 agents into this company, capping agents, and did well, made $10,000, $15,000. Every time a deal closed, I made a few $100s, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's not going to change my life, but this is cool. It's free money. Those agents brought on a few agents, and before you know it, I was making $5,000 a month. And I'm like, $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year I'm on track for in revenue share. So that got my attention. And then I didn't recruit my front line. What I did is I helped the 5, 7 agents that I brought on. I helped them do the same thing and got leverage that way because I was coaching and training full time, and I didn't want to be out there as a recruiter. I don't have conversations with companies that I work for or agents that I coach. I just don't bring it up. And the few people that I did bring it up to that came on weren't clients, but were people I knew, and they were interested in this. And I said, let me help you build this for yourself. Because as your sponsor, when you win, I win. So I kind of did it with a backdoor approach. And that grew to, as you can see, 370. Now we're at just under 400 agents, and I'm adding about 20 new agents every month to my organization if I do nothing. It's taken on a life of its own. So in the next 12 months, if I do nothing, that's another 240 agents next year. And the year after that, it compounds if I do nothing. But I'm not going to do nothing. I have a weekly call with my group, and some people show up, some people don't. And I'm here to support them. And it's been great. Now I'm, still not reaching out to clients about EXP because they're paying me to coach them, and I honor that relationship. And they're hiring me for a task, so I'm helping them with their task, which is increase their revenue and their production. But I know a lot of people that I don't coach. There's 1.8 million real estate agents out there. So, I'm having conversations with people that I don't coach about the opportunities at EXP or about coaching. Would you like to learn about either? And, adding a few more people to my front line, helping them bring on people, And, as I tell people, this has spread faster than COVID. for, like I don't have 370 people I know that have caught COVID back when everybody in the United States had COVID. So this has spread really, really rapidly for me. And it's produced a great nest egg. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's reduced the pressure of me having to go out and, start every month at zero. I've got a steady, I have predictable cash flow every month. And to the tune of, I've been here for 4 years, but really in 2 years, I've nearly achieved financial freedom, meaning I don't have to work.
That's awesome.
So that's a pretty good place to be at 58. And what I'm most excited about, and I'd like people listening to consider, is most people, when they start thinking about retirement, it's usually way too late. They should have been thinking about it way earlier. But even though I've been thinking about retirement and, pulling the throttle back on going 100 miles an hour, running multiple businesses, when people retire, they tend to scale back. My mother scaled back. My mother-in-law scaled back. And these are families that my family did okay, but they scale back, meaning they're not living the life that they were accustomed to living. They get a smaller house, they drive a lesser car, they eat out less because they don't have enough investments to sustain their lifestyle for the rest of their life.
Right.
So to be financially free, to be able to maintain my current lifestyle, which is pretty good. Most people look at my lifestyle and go, man, you drive nice cars, your kids go to good schools, you wear nice clothes, you vacation world class, you've got a beautiful home. You have a housekeeper, you have maintenance people around you. Like you've got a good life, Brian. Yes, I do. I'm blessed. To be able to sustain that without having to work is a pretty good gift that EXP has given me. But what I'm really excited about, prior to EXP, I almost gave up on my dreams. When I mean dreams, I'm talking about what is financial abundance? What does it mean for you to be able to do whatever you want to do with your life? What I'm really excited is EXP will provide me and has provided for many of my close personal friends and former coaching clients financial abundance, not financial freedom, not just living your current lifestyle, which is pretty sweet. But how many of us watching today want more than what we have today?
Yeah. How could we make this even better? Right.
I love that question.
I wonder why I got that.
How could we make this even better is for me to be able to pick up the phone and call Jason and go, hey, Jason, the Celtics are in the Eastern Conference Finals. You want to go? I've got floor seats. You want to go? That's doing whatever you want to do. Who wouldn't want to go to the NBA Finals or the Super Bowl if money were no object? If you could go on an African safari and money were no object, would you go or would you not go? Like if you could do something for your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your son, your daughter, that would be magical. Would you not do it if money didn't impact you? So I've always had really, really big goals and never really knew how I was going to get there. But very, very grateful that EXP has created a disruptive business model that makes the agents wealthy, not only the corporate officers, but the agents wealthy. We have 1.8 million realtors in the United States. How many of them do you think have over $1 million in assets? It's a small percentage.
Yeah.
Why? Because you got to save $50,000 a year for 20 years to have $1 million. That takes a long time. And $1 million is not a lot of money, because if you invest it with Ed Jones or Fidelity or Morgan Stanley, you know, a financial planner would say conservatively, you could draw 3.6% off that $1 million without tapping into the principal. So you could make $36,000 a year every year on $1 million. Well, $5 million, what percentage of the US population has $5 million? Very few. That'll only produce $180,000 in annual income. When I say only, I mean, I couldn't get by on 180, because the more money you make, the more money you spend. And I built up this lifestyle that's beyond $180,000. So I need to have $5 million just to make 180. Well, in 2 years, I'm doing more than that, more than $180,000, significantly more than $180,000. And the people watching can reach out to you, Jason, and your team and your organization, or whoever brought them here. It's a great, great company. And like I said, make the decision that you're not going to come. Make the decision that, you know, you just want to learn more. And don't be mistaken to think it's just another real estate company, because it's not.
So with that said, why don't I open it up for some questions and answers, Brian? I think you just gave us some more great golden nuggets there. Marty, why don't you jump in here?
Be happy to. Brian, thank you so much for sharing all of your words of wisdom. I love your no-nonsense approach. Question, when you picked your 5 people, obviously you were looking for people that were capping agents, that were productive agents. Did you have any other criteria in mind when you were identifying who those first 5 would be?
Yeah, people, yes, great question, Marty. People I like. People that I want to be, that I enjoy being around. I don't want to be in business with people that, oh my God, I got to take this call seriously. So people that I genuinely like, if they, whether they were in business with me or not in business with me, I would take their call. I enjoy these people. Somebody once shared with me, you want to you become a product of your environment. So one of my mentors early on had rules for who their environment was. People that they can profit with, people that they can teach or learn from, and people that they genuinely enjoy being around. So those are the 3 criteria that I use to filter out who I'm going to have these conversations with.
Excellent. I love the idea that you can profit with, as opposed to most people who are profiting from. The entrepreneurial spirit is that there's abundance and that we all can make more money together. I don't have to just make money off someone. So I love that. Thank you, Brian.
Anyone else have a question? We have Brian Moses right here, the guy who kicked the field goal on David Letterman. I freaking love
I do.
it. Go ahead. Amy.
Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for your inspiration and your story. And I love your approach, like Marty said. Just wondering if you have advice for someone who's kind of a newer agent and in a brand new area where she doesn't know anybody.
Oh, okay, great. So, advice for production or advice for attraction?
Both. Well, attraction mainly.
Okay, so you don't need to know anything about EXP. In fact, we've created a process that people don't want to be pitched. They don't want to be sold. And they also don't think that they need a solution. So bringing EXP to them when life is seemingly good at RE/MAX or Keller Williams actually creates resistance. So the advice that I would have is you don't need to know anybody, because you can go on Zillow and you can find realtors. You can call your friends and relatives in other parts of the country or other parts of the world and say, hey, I'm with this great company and I'm expanding. We're expanding worldwide. And I thought I'd reach out to you to see if you knew any really great agents that I should be talking to in your area. And they tell you. So it's really easy to get the names of producing agents. When you have somebody that you're going to reach out to and call, do it like you would do anything. You know, when I first met my wife, I didn't say, well, you're beautiful. How do you feel about getting married and having some kids? I didn't do that. But a lot of people at EXP go, hey, have you heard about this great company, EXP? Would you like to learn about all the great benefits of joining? And you're asking them to get married and have kids. How about you just say, hi, how you doing? Hey, I was talking to my mother and she said that you're a top agent in your area. How you doing? I'm doing great. I see that you're with Keller Williams. May I ask, how long have you been there? I've been there for 12 years. 12 years, no kidding. Take an interest in people. People's favorite subjects are themselves. And go, 12 years, what is it that you love most about that company? Well, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this, and I like this. Wow, that's incredible. And by the way, so you know, Amy, they're never going to give you business reasons why they like that company. They like the people, they like their office, they like, you know, the training, they like something, but it's not really neat and substantial. I like something about Century 21. I was with Century 21, good company. I was with Remax, good company. There were things I liked about it. I was with Coldwell Banker. There were things I liked about them too. So you're going to get intangible things, but ask them, what do you like about it? And then go, hey, you didn't mention this. You didn't mention this. You didn't mention this. You didn't mention that. Are those things important to you? What about splits and caps? You didn't talk about that. Do you love your split? What about equity? Do you have any equity in your company? If your broker sold the company, you've been there for 12 years, Amy, how much of the piece do you get for your 12 years of contribution? I get nothing. Excuse me? I get nothing. Huh. What about production? Is your broker doing anything to put deals in your lap that don't cost 35, 40% in referral fees? No, it's all on my back. Really? What about other sources of income? If something happened, if you got hit by a car, if you broke your leg and you couldn't work for 6 months, do you have any other sources of income? No. Hey, dumb question. Why are you still there? If I could show you how you could have better splits, better caps, other sources of income, equity, get some free deals, get some free coaching. You guys offer coaching, Jason. Get some free coaching. Have some of your expenses paid for, reduce your overhead, save you money on medical insurance, save you money on technology. Would you be open to learning more? That's all you need to learn, Amy. That's
Beautiful.
it. They go, yep, I'd be open to learning more. Great. Let me introduce you to Marty. Let me introduce you to Jason. And then let them take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Well, we are at the hour. So, Brian, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us and sharing your golden nuggets of wisdom. Looking forward to meeting you in person in Miami as well. And so you got, if you drink a beverage, you got the first ones on me.
I appreciate that, Jason. I look forward to seeing you all in Miami.
Absolutely. Brian, thanks for your pearls of wisdom. Appreciate the role play. That was excellent. Really good stuff. No nonsense. And we will see you in Miami along with everyone else. Come one, come all. It's going to be a great party.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Brian. Bye, everybody. See you guys next week. Our guest next week is none other than Elizabeth Riley, 9-time Icon agent, Lux Property Group, and a top 5 influencer and revenue share earner at eXp Realty. So don't miss next week's call with Elizabeth Riley. So with that said, everybody, legends, have a great week. See you guys. Bye for now.
Thanks,
See you.
everyone. Bye-bye.